and this is something I don't know if
Mhm.
you're just sort of comfortable with this at this point, but I'm finding even when other comedians kind of like talk to me about me or whatever, and they're like, "Oh yeah, your journey, whatever," and this may not even be in a negative way, but I've noticed I noticed a lot of comics will say, "Oh yeah, Chrissy, you just became really political," and I'm like, not really. I just went from like an outspoken Democrat voting for whoever's Democrat to being like, "Oh yeah, now I voted for Trump," and I've noticed that like if you're a comedian who you're out in that in that you're an out conservative or you're out that you voted for Trump, the consensus is that you're seen as more political than someone who just voted for Biden. And I wonder, why do you think that is?
Well, it's a couple things. There's no way to escape it now. People won't let you not talk politics. And I don't like it. I go through my old video archive sometimes, and I'll find clips from 5-10 years ago where a lot of my act was current events, and you could make fun. 10 years ago, everybody made fun of Elliot Spitzer. Everyone made fun of Anthony Weiner more recently than that, and it wasn't, people weren't getting mad at you in the audience. It just was a funny thing that everybody was learning about, and you made jokes about it. But I have to ask you this: do you feel like your positions or values have changed?
Like overall, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, for sure, since my 20s, like I found this too, like I think I'm pro-choice now. I think every woman is like, you can say, oh, I'm pro-life, I'm pro-choice, but like I think you really don't know till you're put in that position. And luckily enough for me, as like a young woman growing up, like I never had a pregnancy scare, never had to make the decision to have an abortion. And like, I think when I was younger, it's like, it sounded cool to say you were pro-choice because like, I don't care. I'm not letting anything hold me back. I'm a career woman now. I'm going to go out there and make copies and be happy. And I'm not going to have a kid now. Ugh, like the best, I can do better than just reproduce. And then I had friends who were in that position, and they did get the abortion. And now I just feel like, if I got, there's just, and I don't know if it's a getting older thing, but now, or you're just, as you get older, you see the value of life more. Now it's just like, I couldn't imagine doing it. And also, thank God I was never, ever put in that situation.
Yeah. I don't know if my values and stuff that started to solidify once I got past my 30s and into my 40s. But I really do feel like I've been here, and the political spectrum has just shifted so much. So
yes,
there are even things that if you'd said them 2 years ago, people would have looked at you as if you were in a fantasy world. And now, I mean, just that we have, like the New Zealand weightlifter, and that's a position people will fight you for.
Oh, right. Wait, was she actually like a man and she won, or is that what it's about?
She's a former competitive male weightlifter who's now competing as a woman on the team. And, I think we're seeing this strange breakdown of what words mean. That, I made myself laugh today because I suddenly had the thought of Trans Ams are Ams because you're not supposed to distinguish between things. And I think that's very dangerous because if words only mean what you want them to mean at that particular moment, then they're not words anymore, and we're not going to be able to communicate with each other. And I see that the real nefarious way is that people are using that to control people. But on a base layer, we're not able to communicate. And I see it because I'm surrounded by more conservative or libertarian-leaning people now. And every now and then I'll dip into what's being said on the other side, and they really sound like lunatics to me. So I think a lot of it is that Scott Adams had said, people are watching two different movies being projected at the same time.
Yes, I agree with you completely when you said, like, I'm pretty much the same, but it's just like the thing you're on has shifted. I was explaining to Ann Coulter's niece, of all people, who's very on the right. I was doing her show last week, and I'm like, wow, like, it's just so funny. Like, I think I've been, a lot of the same person in many ways. It's just that when I went from hosting a show at the Stonewall Inn, certain people liked me and kissed my ass and wanted a spot. And now that I do a show for Compound Media and I've gone to a couple Trump rallies, well, now certain people are nice to me and certain people have to be seen, talking down, have to be seen on Twitter talking shit about me. It's very important for a lot of people to know where they stand on me. But it's like the same stuff is making me laugh when I was having fun with my gays at Stonewall versus like having fun with calling Gino gay at Compound. Like I have the same sense of humor. I've never laughed. I've always kind of been like not politically correct, kind of just making fun at whatever is top of mind, not excluding certain. I never thought certain groups were off limits, but now
you can't even approach the joke. And I get mad hearing you say that because I've seen some people turn on you like that, and it pisses me off because they know you. They know you. They know who you are, and they know that you're a good person, and they've known you for years. And to suddenly to have to do this grandstanding, it's so cowardly and stupid. That what do people care what other idiots? I've seen that. I try not to look at too many of the comments about the show because I knew before the show launched that people in the whatever you want to call the comedy scene or whatever, even that makes me want to gag saying
what
that,
even is it? Oh yeah, it's like is it a community? No,
it's not. It's not.
It's every man for himself.
Exactly. It's a bunch of people jockeying for position.
People would stab you for your for your position. Yeah.
But I see them. I try not to look at the comments, but I see what people say, and I look at it, and I can tell you didn't even watch anything. You already knew what you were going to say. And I look at this account that has 12 followers, and I think, why do I care what this person says? Although sometimes I wonder, why is it important to this person? What makes you feel like you have to comment over and over again on a show that you hate, on a network you can't stand, for people you think are stupid and evil? Like I just don't watch programs I don't like. I don't go to movies I don't enjoy. I don't understand what the problem is, but this is this weird way that people validate themselves.
Yeah, and you don't write about things that you don't care for. You just simply find things that you do care for.
I don't eat at restaurants I don't like either.
Yeah,
I don't know why people feel this need.
It sounds. Are you getting a little bit of feedback, chat? Are you guys hearing feedback? I'm gonna try switching my internet, see if it works. Okay. Joe, just keep talking. Hold on.
Okay. I'll hold. Hopefully it's not due to my 40-year-old fan that I have blowing on me right now. So
I think it might be. It might be your fan.
Let me turn it off.
Yeah, I think it's sure you have a fan blowing.
I do.
You gotta stay dry though. This is hot. This is the middle of summer. We gotta stay cool.
Did that change it?
I still hear a little. It's less though.
All right. If I pass out, this is.
It sounds like you might be, like aliens might be sucking you up to take with you. Like, he's a good specimen. Oh yeah, it's definitely Joe. It's definitely on Joe's end. Hey chat, shout out to the chat. Happy to see you guys.
Anything happen?
Yeah, that sounds better.
Okay,
cool. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, Joe. You're like, why do these people? It's because I realize like you have to take a step back and like realize it's truly not about you. And I feels like I'm the subject of conversation every 6 months or so for one reason or another. And when you're like, okay, like pretend this isn't about you, like look at what these people are doing. And it's a way for folks to be like, hey, I'm still here. Like it's very important for me to show that I'm on the right side of things and I need to get attention from the right people. It's like, and yeah, it does sting when these people like were or are friends and they talk shit, but you're like, oh, they're doing it for themselves. I have to try to not take that personally.
Yeah, it's certainly, it's not a show of character that you would turn on someone like that. Because like I said, they know you. You are not a person they're not familiar with. And also in this, the gross world of comedy where people are climbing all over each other, I don't think we should be too surprised. I just wish people were funnier. That's all I ask. I don't even care if you're a horrible person. Just, my God, this...
Have something to show for it. I get it. I had a what I thought was a very good friend. Booked him on Stonewall all the time. Very funny guy. Passed at the Cellar. Big name. I thought a big name in comedy. Good friends. Sent me flowers when my mom died. But then called me a conservative shill on Twitter. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna just like sort of. I guess I'm not a good judge of who's a friend. Maybe I need to take a step back. But you have to realize like, some people dealt with the last year and a half better than others. Some people when their usual spots were taken away, maybe had a bit of a crisis of character or identity, and who knows, like maybe people's sources of income. You know, it was like, I don't know, it was rough for a lot of people, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to be the bigger person, but of course I do keep a brown list. I do keep a brown and a black list. I have a yellow list. I have all types of people who've pissed me off in varying degrees on various lists.
Yeah. Well, you know what though? I think as you get older, your lists of almost everything start to contract. Your list of who you will put up with, your list of who you want to spend time with, your list of foods that you want to eat. Like all the lists get smaller and smaller. So it's kind of a natural culling process. I did some of that over the past year, where there were people in relationships where I looked at, and it wasn't a big blow up or anything like that, where I guess because we were forced to evaluate things over the past year and a half, that unless you completely distracted yourself with electronic bullshit, but it made me look at some things and say, you know what, maybe I've outgrown that relationship, or maybe when I'm with that person, I'm not a better version of myself. And then, you know, it's like so many things that you let it go, and then it turns out you think, oh man, I could have done that years ago. I could have not felt that way.
It's true. I should be like you, Joe. Like, instead of I'll just have one list of people I do like, and I'll just, it's really just going to be like you, Joe, and then like some people from Compound Media, Tyler Fisher. I don't know. It's just like,
I liked your interview with Tyler.
Wasn't that interesting? Like, and he was somebody like, gosh, raised by two gay men, very much fully on the woke boat, and then they just kicked his ass out. They just were like, his own agents were like, sorry, we have nothing for you, and we're not even sorry about it, and we're not even gonna go to bat for you.
And you look at someone like him, what's the resume you need to have for people to give you the benefit of the doubt, at least? But no, so I think we all just have to find our own ways around this. What's nice though is that I see the collapse of the traditional entertainment industry. It's nice because all those things that we used to worry about, they're irrelevant anymore. Like all the gatekeepers, fuck them. They were all assholes, and now they're irrelevant.